When I review a game, I like to be as fair as possible. I like to try and steer away from any of that negativity or even the positivity on social media to try and form my own opinion when I come to play the game, as many outlets and reviewers have rated games way too high or even way too low in the past, and I have my different views and so do you, because ultimately it's one person's opinion, right? But with Redfall, well, I can't really argue with what people are saying about it online, and after seeing it, it's just opened my mind to how bad this game really is. Today we're going to be talking about it after putting around 4 to 5 hours into the gameplay and the story, and just discussing its flaws and really why it's such a missed opportunity for Redfall, for Xbox and for Arkane. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on the game if you've played it or if you've seen any gameplay. It is free with Game Pass, go check it out. It's how I played it and I'm so glad I didn't pay for it because I would be getting a refund if I did pay for it, so just be wary of that. But leave a like on today's video, it would be very much appreciated. Consider subscribing as well for more reviews like this and story-based content for other games coming in the future. But let's dive straight in. I was really looking forward to Redfall. I like the idea of fighting vampires in a semi-open world setting, different weapons you can use, melee or ranged weapons, safe houses you can take over and use and fight, vampires out in this open world in the dark, in the light. I wanted it to be fun, to sit through an engaging story and have something else to play with friends. I had planned a full playthrough with my friend on this game on the first day of grinding and smashing it all out. I was looking forward to playing it, multiplayer, but boy was I wrong. Redfall is such a fall from grace from such a prestigious studio such as Arkane. I mean, these are the same creators of Deathloop, the game that won so many awards at the Game Awards. Prey, which is regarded as one of the best games in people's mind from Arkane. And how can we forget Dishonored and Dishonored 2? If you've played any of those games I've just mentioned and then go to play Redfall, you're going to wonder what happened. You'd question if this was a side project from a bunch of college kids or an actual fully fledged Microsoft exclusive from a studio they'd only just acquired. Let's be completely real and transparent here. The creative director for Deathloop was Dinga Bakaba. The creative director for Prey and Dishonored was Rafael Colantonio. The creative director for Redfall was Harvey Smith, who is no stranger to Arkane. Harvey Smith has been around for years at this company, even working on the likes of Dishonored alongside Raphael. So this guy isn't just someone who's been thrown into the role, or someone with no experience. He knows Arkane through and through, and he was the creative director of Redfall. What happened here? This is what shocked me the most when reading through and doing a bit of research on it. And when playing through this open world within Redfall, it's so shallow. The story is so uninteresting and uninspiring. The graphics are like I've just booted up my Xbox 360, and the cutscenes. Do not get me started on these damn cutscenes. For one, they're not even cutscenes. They're stills the entire time. What were they thinking here? It's so lazy, and for a game that's meant to be an Xbox exclusive, a system seller, which is what an exclusive is for, you're having a laugh. I'm going to compare two cutscenes here. This is from Star Wars Jedi Survivor that has just come out. This is a game that was developed by Respawn, and they've put a lot of time and effort into not only, perfecting the graphics and making them good, but also making it an engaging story, giving you the cutscenes, making you like the characters. And then this is one from Redfall. Look, I get that every game needs to be like Star Wars in terms of its story content or its way of telling its story, but you've got to give me a reason to want to play this game and like the characters within, else what is the point? If I'm not interested in the reason why things are happening the way they are, then how can you expect me to sit through and want to play it? Gameplay wise, it's standard really, but 30 FPS makes the whole situation even worse. 60 FPS would have been perfect, 30 is a bit of a miss. I would have quite happily given up the 4K resolution for 60 FPS, and I do that on literally all of my games. I always play in performance mode, and I'm happy to get that 30 FPS back and sacrifice that 4K gameplay. It doesn't really bother me too much. I plan a 1080p monitor, and so does probably majority of people. I love Destiny, and that was at 30 FPS most of the time anyway on consoles, so it doesn't really bother me. But Redfall is so bare that I'm surprised the game didn't run at 120 frames. I just think Redfall is a huge fall from grace from Arkane and Xbox. If you were going into this game blind, you'd wonder if a different studio had put this game together. It doesn't seem like something from Arkane, very out of character. I don't know what happened here, but I suspect Xbox will seriously be having a word with the leadership in Arkane after this one comes out, because it is unacceptable as to what they've released. It's just not good enough for an Xbox exclusive. Xbox are lacking in the exclusivity department anyway, and this only makes things worse. But then again, this could be down to a multitude of different reasons. Microsoft could have said after their acquisition that they need a first-party exclusive, make it, and it needs to be out within this time frame, no negotiations, and this could have been the result of that. Was it a resource issue within Arkane themselves? Microsoft heavily rely on contractors throughout their gaming side of things in Xbox as well, and obviously that impacted the likes of Halo Infinite massively, so could this be a reason as well? Is it a talent issue within Arkane? But I don't think it would be, and it's hard to believe that it would be, because they've had Deathloop come out not long ago, and that was so good. From an artistic standpoint, a graphical standpoint, it was fantastic. And then you release Redfall, which is just nothing on the same level as Deathloop. This game has gotten a lot of bad reviews for its shallow attempt at a story, clunky gameplay, boring characters, and this was a chance for Xbox to get a big exclusive under the belt. But Redfall is god-awful. Okay, so let's briefly touch upon the story. So the story is of a group of cultists that are working with, I believe, a vampire boss called the Hollow Man, and they're basically harvesting blood for them, I believe, and something like that in return for some rewards and things like that. The moment we start the game, we're on a ship trying to escape the island after the outbreak of vampires around, but there was no context given to us as to who these cultist group really are. No characters to give us more information early on around this group or who they really are or what their goals and motivations really are. And then we leave the ship and immediately start killing people without a clue as to who we're actually shooting. This blew my mind here, because I don't just walk off of a ship, find a gun and start shooting anyone around me when I have absolutely no clue who they really are. The characters in game might know who they are, but I don't know who they are. Yes, they're the cultist group that are aiding the vampires around this place, but we need some more context, more story details, some understanding as to who they really are. Are we just killing random people here, or do they actually have malicious motivations? If so, they're hiding them from us, and that's 101 not how to do story. We find a safe house eventually that was in an old fire station, rescue the people inside, get a terrible still scene where the entire place just miraculously tidies up and becomes a base, and speak with the shallow characters with no personality or backstory, and that's literally it. Our character even says at one point when we're leaving the fire station that he doesn't care what happened here. Hello? I care. I want to know what's going on. Tell me some more.
Don't know how all this started. Don't care.
I don't know what's happening around me right now. I would really appreciate a bit of context. And yes, some people are going to say that you need to play through the game to get the context. That's the whole idea from a story, right? You learn more as you go along. Yes, you do. But you need to understand what you're fighting for early on for you to give a damn as to what you're fighting for, you know? If you don't know, you're uninterested, you don't care what happens, the outcome means nothing to you. You need a personal connection when playing these games. A story is supposed to speak to you and make you feel engrossed in that story. With Jedi Survivor, I wanted Cal to get what he wanted. I wanted them to defeat the Empire. I wanted them to find Tanalor or do whatever it was. I wanted them to succeed. In Redfall, I do not care what happens because I'm not made to care at all by the writers. The missions are shallow, boring, go to this table, click A and it begins after a crap still cutscene. No animated scenes at all, no dialogue with characters in the cutscenes to expand on the story or expand on the characters. I don't care about any of them. I don't care for the plot, and unfortunately, I don't care about Redfall. So, what is my final verdict here? This is by far the lowest review we've given on the channel so far, and it's a 3 out of 10. It was absolutely terrible. Really, really poor attempt at an exclusive from Arkane. I'm shocked, to be honest. It's the only word I can use to describe this game. shocked that a studio that came from such highs, going from Deathloop, and such a prestigious amount of games that they created in the past, and the portfolio like Dishonored 1 and 2, like Prey, was so good, and then going to Deathloop, getting all of these awards at the Game Awards and doing so well there, to then going to Redfall. This game needs way more time in the oven. It's very underbaked. It's not optimized correctly to have 60 FPS, even though on the box it actually says it's supposed to run at 60 FPS at launch. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Have I been too harsh? Have I not? Let me know what you think about it. And ultimately, what are your thoughts and your review and even score on Redfall? I'm not impressed with this game. I'll be giving it a hard miss. And there's not often that I don't recommend playing a game for free on Game Pass. A lot of the time I would recommend playing it and seeing how it is because it's free. But this might be the first game that I don't recommend installing even on Game Pass, because it's so shallow that it's probably not even worth your time. But leave a like in the video if you do agree with any of the points, and if you did enjoy the video, subscribe if you guys are brand new for plenty more reviews, and also story-based content coming. I think we've got another Star Wars video coming out later on today after this goes live, or even sometime tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that one as well if you're a returning viewer from the Star Wars videos, or even the God of War videos. But without further ado everyone, we'll see you all next time.